Bro, Hollywood P reacts.
What's good, YouTube? It's your dude Hollywood P back again for another video. Now, as always, folks, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Also, turn on your post notifications so that you stay up to date with all of my latest uploads. All right, guys, we are back once again, and today we have a pretty heavy topic to discuss. It's something that you guys are probably familiar with if you've been keeping up with everything that's been going on, from court dates to drama to just everything that's been going on the internet outside of DDG and Halle Bailey. It's just been a lot going on. But today we are here once again to discuss DDG and Halle Bailey. Now, as you guys know, they both released their album this month. You know, DDG released his first, titled Moo. He had a song aimed at Halle Bailey. It wasn't a diss record. It was a plea record. He was pleading for her to understand and just listen to him, just hear him out. You know what I'm saying? With no courts involved, just them, just please hear him out. You know, it's called 17 More Years. And Halle also had, I think she had another record on her album. I don't know the title of that record, but I know, of course, Interlude. You know, that's when it was supposed to be her and DDG arguing about him being with someone, a special someone in Miami, and we all know who that is, allegedly, Tiana and. You know, that's who lives in Miami, and of course, she is allegedly the woman that Halle Bailey ran up on at the movie theater. And yeah, of course, like I said, she checked Lala as well, Lala Baptiste, about the Mexico trip. So she was just pretty much just running up on these girls and saying what's good. Lala explained to Halle that it was a group trip. It wasn't like her and DDG were together on the trip. You know what I'm saying? Like doing things. Even though it's alleged that DDG and Lala have messed around in the past. And well, if DDG was single at the time, I don't blame him. You know what I mean? I know she's with Jay Cinco now, but I mean, bro, what are we talking about? You know what I'm saying? That wasn't a bad move. Now, when it comes to Halle Bailey in this interlude that she dropped, because it already been announced that she was going to have a diss track for DDG or some type of rebuttal to get back at him for dropping a track on his album about her. You know what I'm saying? That's not a restriction by the courts that, you know, that they can't talk about each other on, you know, in their professional manner, like on albums and stuff like that. And DDG was kind of ingenious for actually thinking about, hey, I can't call her, but I know I can put this out to reach out to her in a positive manner. So if it did pop up in the next court date, which the court date did pass and everything's supposed to be coming together now, like I told you, they're supposed to be good. It was like he was able to at least get it out there because he knows Halle was gonna hear it, especially with it going viral and it being on the album and him being who he is. He know that, you know, his voice carries, you know, his voice holds weight. So eventually it was gonna get to Halle, and of course it did. She heard it, but she's still kind of in that place of, hey, you think I'm crazy, you think I'm this, you think I'm that. She's like, the last thing that DDG did far as like at odds with her was the paperwork. You know what I'm saying that she was trying to take her own life, she was doing all this other stuff, you know what I mean, anything. She didn't want the baby, she wanted to have an abortion. Like, it was just a bunch of stuff that he piled up on her, kind of trying to save face and get back, you know, to the people that turned his back on him. You know what I'm saying? They turned their back on DDG. So he had to do something. You know what I mean? Even though it was a Hail Mary and he kind of like risked the possibility of never being on the good side of Halle Bailey ever again. But time heals all wounds, guys. Time heals all wounds. Eventually, like I said, they'll be cool again. Right now, she's got, you know, Scott Bridgeway. You know, he's around and he's, you know, Halo's stepdad right now. You know what I mean? Let's just be for real. He around Halo. He probably changes Halo Pampers or whatever, feeds him. I mean, he's around. He's stepdaddy. You know what I'm saying? So DDG is doing everything he's supposed to do as far as with the courts. Like I said, he doesn't miss a court date, because if he do, this thing is a wrap. But hopefully November 5th is the final court date. They came to an agreement, both lawyers, Halle, DDG, because the thing is, they might as well come to an agreement because they still, like, she transports Halo to DDG, through the court appointed person. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's not like she's got Halo at the house and DDG can't see Halo. No, DDG sees Halo, on his days he's supposed to see him. They meet up at whatever. DDG gets him from the mediator, and he does what he does with Halo, plays with them, whatever, gives him back to the mediator. Halle picks him up and she goes home. That's it. You know what I'm saying? But now he'll have a way where it's not court appointed or a person there to mediate and watch him while he plays with Halo. They came to an agreement on both sides because, like I say, DDG was tired of the courts and all the rest of that. But anyway, we're about to play this interlude. I tried to clean it up as good as I could, so it won't get yellow marked or anything. But we're going to play a little bit of this interlude where it's supposed to be an argument with Halle Bailey and DDG, and she's discussing the Miami stuff. And yeah, so let's check that out.
Hello?
What's up, man?
So who was that in Miami?
What you talking about? What?
You know what I'm talking about.
Bro, I was...
Why do you think it's okay to lie to me, though?
What did
That's not okay. You think I'm crazy. You want to say I'm crazy? You want to say I'm delusional? I'm telling you now. No, you're not going to do this to me.
Oh, here we go.
No, not here we go. No, I'm not gonna. No, you're not gonna treat me like I'm desperate. No.
All right, whatever. Watch this.
Watch what? And what?
All right, so there it is. So you heard the reenactment of Halle supposedly arguing with DDG about who he was with in Miami, which allegedly the only girl that DDG that has around in Miami is no other than Tiana Musera. Like, that's no secret. So she definitely brought that to the light, because Tiana, we all know that she has been around for a very long time. Tiana has been responsible for a lot of DDG's alleged breakups and fights and arguments and everything. She was actually around back when he was dating Kennedy, one of his ex-girlfriends, and that was one of the reasons that they got into it, because it was about Tiana. Tiana has just always been down for DDG. You know what I'm saying? She's been at his concerts. She was always that girl. She was like how Drea Michelle is for Drake. You know what I'm saying? She's just a supporter. She's just a fan, and she loves some DDG. You know what I'm saying? And then the only time that DDG kind of put her on the back burner, of course, is when he started kind of messing around with India Love. But that's kind of just like in a weird spot right now. I don't know. I think what it is, even with the India Love situation, I don't mean to get off topic when it comes to DDG and India Love. I think that DDG senses that India Love's personality was just a little too strong to have around all the time, because I guess she's kind of like super kind of controlling, and he's trying to control his own narrative, especially when he was dealing with this whole court stuff with Halle. He didn't have time to really like entertain her the way she wants to be entertained. She needs like somebody that's around and just focused on her. DDG trying to get to this bag. He got court stuff, baby mama drama, all kind of stuff in the blogs. He's trying to hold on to make sure he don't get, lose any more deals and stuff like that, because he did lose a couple deals. You know what I mean? When this whole stuff came out, then people kind of came back after he dropped his paperwork, alleging that Halle did what she did to him. You know what I mean? As far as the photos that he had and everything. So, so he kind of regained a few of them, but not all of them. But yeah, it's just a crazy space that these two are in. Even though, like I say, things are better, I just think it's going to still take a while for them to actually come together and celebrate birthdays and stuff together, as far as Halo's birthday, and because she's got to bring her man around, their family. Like, it's got to be like that. It's just what it is. If she's moved on and DDG's doing his thing, if she shows up on a holiday, she's not gonna not bring her man. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing you got to think about also, like the comfortability of her being around her boyfriend and the baby. You know what I'm saying? So you'll see Halo running up to him. That's gonna be the craziest dynamic ever. Celebrating Christmas together. Halo's used to Scott Bridgeway because he's always with Halle, so he's running up to Scott, and Scott's like, oh man, I'm about to pick up Halo and pat his back in front of DDG and his whole family. You know what I mean? That's the reality of it is when it comes to, you know, stepdads and stuff. So, you know, they're gonna work it out. You know, eventually they're gonna work it out. It's just gonna take some time because when it's new, it's gonna be kind of like a lot of animosity, a lot of cold shoulders and stuff like that. And like I say, when in the beginning, the whole family was walking on eggshells. They were catering to Halle really heavily, and you know, amidst all this drama and everything, that's when all the, you know, everything just went out the window. It was all the gloves was off. They was like, man, pretty much Halle been doing this and that. She been, you know, acting up, talking about trying to off herself, you know, unalive herself or whatever. It's just been a lot been going on. You know what I'm saying, with this whole trial and everything. But at least they put it on wax, and hopefully that now they can wipe their hands clean of it, and you know, continue or try to co-parent in a civil manner and move forward with life. You know, that's what it's all about. But anyway, guys, I just wanted to touch bases on this situation because I know, you know, Halle album did drop, and I did listen to the entire album, and it actually is a really good album. It actually is. Like, her voice is, you know, like opera level. You know what I'm saying? Like, she on a whole different like vocal level. I mean, the falsettos and all this up and downs and the harmonies, it just was crazy. Gotta give it to her. You know, Halle is a dope artist. We can't take that away from her. You know what I mean? She's doing her thing. Yeah, but anyway, that's all I got, guys. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Also turn on your post notifications. And as always, folks, as always, holla back at your boy. Peace.